So I've been getting into some rather interesting details of the construction, if you will, of the pyramid Ponzi scheme and how they got to prime the pump with a lot of dirty money to get that laundromat working, where they launder tons and tons and tons of dirty money through real estate financing, mortgages. Now, just kind of for the record here, I want to sort of explain something to people. I spent a lot of years building extremely complicated high-rise buildings and malls and airports and hospitals and lots of extremely detailed, very expensive homes, and worked off architectural renderings and, elevations and details for a lot of this construction. And then, of course, I was raised at a marina, and I got very familiar with the pieces and parts of Evinrude's and Johnson's and Towers of Power, even Scott Atwater, some of the old Scott Atwater, and the British Seagull motors, and the inboard and the outboards and the outboards and the inboards. Worked on all that stuff, very, very detailed. And you see, when you're running these filthy, dirty money machine laundries for the biggest banks in the world, there's a couple little ways they cheat at their cards. They do the old shuffle, and stacking the deck and dealing off the bottom. I call it hocus pocus. The hocus pocus, Mitch Wexler, of all these fake appraisal tax billings. And one of the things that's copiously obvious, Mr. Mitch Wexler, is all this fraudulent billing using the U.S. mail. And then, of course, they engage in their fraudulent tax foreclosure process, again, using the U.S. mails to make it work with all that very official-looking, very, very official-looking bureaucratic documents and things that you say, wow, those are genuine instruments. Just like in you ever been to a mortgage closing and they got that stack of papers in the escrow file and you got to go through there and you got to sign about 25 times? Nobody reads those escrow papers. They just want to sign all them signatures and get the keys to their new house and get out of there. Get their check. Pyramid Ponzi scheming. And how much money has been robbed out of the banking system now? I don't know. Let's ask David Bowen. Or, I don't know, let's ask Jeff Thigpen or John O'Brien or Martha Cloakley. Or let's ask, I don't know, and I'm not trying to be funny here. Let's ask Pam Bondi, and we can ask Felicia James. And who else? So Don Trump, how much money's been robbed and stolen and laundered, and the Ponzi scheme, the pump, the primed pump of dirty money laundering through the banks. I mean, take a look at the money Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, Chase, Credit Suisse, Wells Fargo, Wachovia, oh God, Wachovia, holy freaking crap. Goldman Sachs, Western banks. Don't leave out my old buddies down there at the Western banks in Houston. They were involved in the same pyramid Ponzi scheming and pyramid pump. The pyramid and the pyramid Ponzi pump. That's what I'm going to title this particular video, and it's dedicated to all those people that have been suckered in their fraudulent tax appraisers scheme against their homes and businesses. How about that one there, Eric Vaughn? Have you done a video on the fraudulent tax appraisals yet? How about all the dirty money that's laundered through residential mortgages, like what happened to Addie Polk? Did Addie Polk get lured and baited into a money laundering scheme on her mortgage? And there's people that wonder about my dental problems here. And they, well, look at that old hillbilly, he's missing teeth. And the answer is, I got severely injured years ago, and I busted a couple of my teeth. It ripped my nose off. My nose was hanging down here on my lower chin. I got hit in the face with a 20-ton winch. And through my struggles and trials and tribulations, I just haven't caught up with the dentist yet. I'll get to the dentist. I think I want to get a pair of those veneers or something like that, and then I'll look like Don Trump with the big smile like Pam Bondi. And doesn't Cash Patel, his teeth look like he's been to the dentist quite a few times, old Cash Patel. And Don Bongino's got some interesting looking teeth, like Melania. Oh God, Melania's got teeth now, does she? And all these other people connected to priming the pumps with filthy, dirty money. And if you got any questions, look at the links below and, I don't know, pick up the phone and call Mitch Vexler there at Mockingbird Properties in Dallas, Texas, and ask him about all the fake papers that the tax appraisal district and the tax collectors are sending to the victims of these taxing schemes through the United States mails. And that's for United States District Judge Alfred Bennett in Houston and the lawyers for the Colony Ridges fraud prosecutions in Houston Federal District Court. Ladies and gentlemen, that Colony Ridges was just a couple of minutes over from where I rose hell about this stuff for years down around Conroe. Yeah, my history of exposing these Colony Ridges racketeering schemes is, well, it's extensive. Everybody have a good day. Hasta la vista. God bless. And if you don't hear from me, have a Merry Christmas.